Yikes. What is good, everybody? I am back with a brand new video, and today we are going to be doing a form comparison of when I first started my backhand versus what it looks like today. And I am going to be speaking strictly from experience and what I have learned through videos and research about how the form should look and what I have changed through my backhand form. So here's a clip that I found where practically I was first starting learning the backhand, and let me tell you, it is not too good. Oh boy. And here's kind of what the form looks like right now. This is pretty much my most recent backhand clip. Alright, so starting off with what it used to look like, we're going to start with kind of my footwork. And as you can see, I do still do an X step, although it is kind of a wide X step, I feel like, and my hips are kind of rotated away from the basket or away from where I'm throwing, which eventually they have to kind of get there to get a little bit of hip movement. But I feel like the X step could definitely shrink down a little bit where my feet are closer together. This would put me more on like a straight line. It's almost like I'm walking backwards is how my X step is looking right here. Now when I go to put my plant foot down, I'm reaching back, but I'm reaching more down and not out, I guess, like on a straight plane. The disc is also right behind my body. When we get to my form now, you can see that I fixed this a little bit, and when I pull the disc back, I like to put it out away from my body instead of kind of like straight back. As you can see, my arm is like going toward the ground here. Not good. Also my plant foot, my arm is all the way extended practically, and my plant foot is not all the way down yet. What I've researched is that you want to get that plant foot pretty much right when your reach back is all the way extended, and it's a really quick movement instead of having the disc kind of sit there until your plant foot hits the ground. When I come through, you can see I am really pulling with my neck, it looks like right here. My offhand is somewhat coming down, I guess. One thing I noticed that I've had a huge problem, even sometimes to this day, it's gotten a lot better. You can see my elbow is more pointed to the ground, it's not up, which is putting this disc really close to my body here. Since I'm pulling the disc downward and then back up, you really want to keep that disc on the same plane, so mine is like all over the place here, as you can see. I'm also trying really hard. You can see the tee side, it's 305 feet, so not too far. It's kind of a hyzer shot. I feel like I'm trying so hard where the disc angle, it could be released on any sort of angle here, that I am trying so hard. And I know you can't see it in this clip here. Unfortunately, I don't really have any other clips, but my back foot is dragging across the concrete here, causing some resistance. The only really good thing I'm seeing right through here is that at least my legs are staggered, allowing me to kind of get my hips involved slightly. Because if this plant foot was straight out in front of me like a lot of beginners do, and I'm sure I did that too, I just don't have any video of it. It is very important to try to stagger that front foot just so that you can get your hips rotated. Honestly, it looks like I'm more rotating like my upper body. I feel like I'm so squatted down here that my hips aren't even actually involved that much. I'm not sure, but that's kind of what it looks like. Alright guys, now let's get into what my form looks like now. This is pretty much my latest clip of my backhand form, so let's check this out. Once again, we'll start with the footwork. Since the other clip was slightly cut off, it's somewhat hard to see, but my X step is a little bit closer now. My 2 feet are kind of getting a little closer. I still think it can definitely use some work. One thing that I'm not quite sure about, and maybe some of you guys might be able to help me out, but my last step is super wide and long. I don't know if this is a good, a bad thing, if it matters, I'm not sure. One thing that does definitely matter though is that you can see that my plant foot is still not quite down when my disc is all the way in its reach back, which is something, it's timing, it's really hard to time for me. I don't know why, but it is, but this is something that I still need to work on, and that is honestly the same as when I first started throwing the backhand, so I'm sure I've developed that over this time. But as you can see in my reach back, I am reaching back more away from my body instead of behind my body. I think this helps me out a lot so that my body isn't interfering with the disc as much. When I pull the disc through, the disc still does come really close to my chest. My elbow is slightly more up so that this is actually giving me room for that disc to be flat across my chest. I used to literally throw like this because my elbow was down all the way, where I'd have to put the disc on a huge hyzer. Now you can kind of see that the disc is coming through flat through my chest, which is a really big improvement that I've had. My offhand is now kind of more down, something I've been really trying to work on because I've heard about lag. That is where your offhand is kind of coming towards your front pocket and initiating the hips, so that you have the disc all the way behind you. Everything else is kind of through, and that is creating the lag that actually kind of snaps off your fingers. If I play this clip just as is, you can just tell how much smoother this comes out versus when I first started throwing the backhand. You can also tell I'm not putting as much stress like on my neck and head area, because in the clip before I was like pulling my head through. In this, it's a lot more relaxed. It's close to my shoulder, coming through pretty much with everything else. I'm way smoother, and that is a huge key to your backhand distance or backhand form. Smoother is always better. Once you start trying to muscle anything, I've said it on the channel before, that is what has taken me a really long time to comprehend, because I would just really try to huck one and it would go nowhere. Once you become a little bit smoother with the disc and having your body come through and whatnot, you will see a different reaction on the disc and it'll come out a lot faster. I'm not sure why, but every time I start my backhand, I kind of pull my disc out away from my body and then bring it back in. I don't know where I kind of started this. Helping me with timing, I'm not sure. Obviously not, because I need my plant foot to be down before that disc is all the way in the reach back. I really feel like you want this to be such a fast twitch motion where it's hardly in the reach back and then you're coming through with the disc. One thing I'm not too happy about with this form is that you can see that the disc is like on a hyzer angle. You really want to control the angles with like kind of like the angle of your back. If you're rotated backwards, the disc is going to be on an ante. If you're rotated forward, the disc is going to be on a hyzer. You want to keep all the mechanics with the arm the same and just rotate your back and forth whichever angle you want to put on. So when I pull the disc back, I'm always kind of on a hyzer angle, and then it kind of comes through flat. I really need to focus on trying to keep that disc already flat and then just rotating my back and forth depending on the angle I'm trying to throw on. Pretty happy with how far I've come with my backhand. There is so much more that I need to work on to actually get the distance I'm looking for, because that's kind of where I am at right now, is doing all of this, trying to keep everything the same but adding a little bit more power, and that's really where I kind of go downhill, because then that's when I drop my elbow. The disc isn't coming through flat. Whatever it may be, I lose a lot of mechanics when I try to speed things up. Anyway guys, I hope this video was informative. Maybe you're doing some of the same mistakes I'm doing and we're working on them together. If you have any pointers for me, leave them down in the comments. Of course, I will continue to work on my backhand, try to get some more distance. If and when I do something different and it is helping me, I will probably do a YouTube video just to try to help some of the others out there that are struggling as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Go follow Chasing Chains _ on Instagram, where I post there daily. And we'll see you on the next one.